And we are live. So, welcome to episode 285.
So many episodes.
So little time of An American Werewolf. I am Michael Martin, the American Werewolf. In the house tonight, we've got the one Ringu. And in the darkness bind them. And we've got John K. Alvarez, the Dean of Ghoul University.
Yeah, baby.
So, thank you both for joining me this evening.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. Always glad to have you guys on board. Now, as we approach Halloween itself, I don't know. Let me ask you guys, what is happening on network television? Are they doing horror movies or channels like... I'm not hearing much. I'm not hearing much like anybody is advertising anything. It's like they're just blowing it off this year. Am I wrong?
I don't watch enough real network television to know what they're doing. You know, I'm sure they're going to show The Great Pumpkin somewhere. I'm sure somewhere there's going to be a baking contest. I'm sure somewhere Modern Families is going to dress Sofia Vergara up in something sexy. You know.
Yeah.
Just going through the motions.
Go ahead, John.
No, when I've been doing PT, they have all these different televisions on, and I see the Halloween Bake Off, like, you know, Ringu said, over in a corner, and then but like the only other thing I'm seeing is like Disney still doing their Halloween Plus, or whatever they call it, Halloweenville. I was hoping like somebody like Turner Classic Movies would actually start showing some classic movies.
Yeah, a little Hammer, a little Universal.
Yeah, I would love some of that. I keep
cruising over to Hulu. They got the whole Halloween thing going on. There's just monster movies aplenty there.
Yeah, Hulu's always good. I mean, Netflix usually isn't very good for horror. HBO is always good, you know. So you have selections, but I mean, I don't think Prime is doing much. It doesn't look like it. Tubi. I mean, you know, here we are.
Tubi,
Tubi's awesome.
Tubi's always good.
Tubi is my hero.
Indeed.
Absolutely.
So, after last week's, I don't know what you'd want to call it, review of Paranormal Activity, I thought we would stretch a little bit into some Japanese folk horror. Which is kind of what we've done here. And I'm talking about Hideo Takada's Ringu, where I show the wrong movie right here. That I'm showing for the first time in 285 streams, I'm showing the wrong DVD cover, which I'll get into in a minute. So if we're getting going, let's just get to it.
Let's get to it.
So, this is based on, I think, a book by the same name, and it was written by Koji Suzuki. And he drew his inspiration from his favorite film, which was Tobe Hooper's Poltergeist.
There you go.
Which is always a fun one, with suburban supernatural dread, and then Japanese folklore about cursed objects. And the first time that I saw this, I was in Japan. Oh. And it wasn't 1998. This was, long after that. But I found myself, for some reason, and one night I just had nothing to do, so I was just at the hotel. And if you ever travel overseas, the Netflix adjusts for that home country. So when I'm in Japan, guess what? I get Japanese Netflix.
Right.
And I think the fucked up thing about it, if I remember correctly, is that they don't provide subtitles. It's very Japanese. So, hey, you're in Japan, motherfucker. You better learn to understand. And somehow I got an extension file that gave me the subtitles that I needed to watch it. So I sat there in the hotel room and I watched Ringu, because it is a very famous horror film, foreign horror film, considered one of the tops of all time. We'll get into that in a little bit. And I remember watching this, and I'm like, I watched it end, and I'm like, did that just fucking happen?
Yeah.
Did I just watch what I think I fucking watched? And so now, like a dumbass, I went, because we were going to be covering this theme for the holiday, and went out and bought what I thought was a copy of Ringu. And it turns out that it's Ringu Zero, which is the origin story. Because if you go on Amazon, this is still a $50 DVD or Blu-ray.
Yeah,
I think it's been discontinued, and so you can only get these old copies or something like that, and they're very high priced. Right. And so I found this and thought I got the scam for $5, and I got the scam all right. I watched it again the second time, so because I got about halfway through it, and I'm like, this isn't the fucking movie I watched. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And then I realized halfway through it that it was the wrong movie. And thankfully, it was a 90-minute movie, too. So I cut it out and went over to Tubi. And this film is currently playing on Tubi.
Right.
So I watched it. I then watched what I had originally watched. And I came away with the same feeling that I just fucking see what I thought I saw. I'm like, this can't be fucking happening. So I'm going to go to the one Ringu and In the Darkness. As you were in the darkness, have you seen this before? If yes, initial thoughts. If it's a second viewing, how did it hold
I just got to say, my favorite part of this movie is when they're in the cave, they're in the darkness, and they start telling the riddles, and then the wizard's like, "You shall not pass through." It's awesome. No, I'm kidding. I worked all week on that joke. I saw this.
Funny,
It was a blockbuster night back in 98 or 99. I remember watching it because that was like all the rage, like the American versions of Japanese movies. And so we watched, The Grudge and the Ring, and then Ringu and the original Grudge. We watched a bunch of those all at once, and I haven't seen it since. So that was back way back in the before times. And when I sat down to watch it, it all come flooding back to me. It was so good. I was just amazed at how much I remembered as it was coming back to me. I loved that movie. It was so good again to watch it.
Okay. John K. Alvarez, had you seen it before? Is this a first time viewing? What did you think of the film?
This is the first time I saw Ringu.
Okay.
I saw The Ring, and when someone said it was based on Ringu, and everybody told me go watch Ringu, and I said okay, cool. And then this weird thing happened. Life kicked in, and and I never really had the chance. So when you brought it up, and I said great, and in your defense, Michael, I actually went to Tubi, and I found Ringu Zero. And started watching that. And the same thing, about 40 minutes into it, this looks like nothing like The Ring. And then I look back and went, oh, idiot. You know, and I watched that too. But no, I was stunned how much I enjoyed this version, because one thing I was worried about was that I was going to say, okay, start comparing it to the American film. And there's no comparison. I enjoyed this one a lot more.
Yeah.
And I like the American film. I like the American adaptation. I like this a lot more.
Yep.
I have not seen the American versions. Just so we're clear, I've never seen The Ring. I've never seen The Grudge.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that they were popular, and I've seen a million times, the girl crawling out of the well, coming through the television set. Mm-hmm. This movie is 27 years old. So
that's amazing.
Yeah, that means I just turned
Halloween
30.
Party. Every Halloween party, there's at least one with the wig and the night shirt, just walking around pretending to be the Ring girl. 27 years.
I was only saying that to say that this year I turned 30. So I very much appreciate a little nostalgia. But my concern was that in watching it, does it take something away from the film, knowing that the sort of reveal that you get with has been so overplayed over 27 years that it ceases to have any effect in the way that Paranormal Activity did. But on the other hand, this film has a much better story.
Yeah.
And I hate to say it, but having seen it probably for the first time in 10 years, it reminded me very much of the feeling I had, and Bill was here for the show when we covered it. John, you were not. It was me, Bill, and Eric when I covered Midsommar.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, is this evil bitch going to get away with this? Mm-hmm. And sure enough, she fucking gets away with everything. And I'm just like, that's what I meant when I said I finished it. I'm like, did that just fucking happen? Like, did she just totally get away with that? Mm-hmm. All these fucking dead people. And she just doubles down on evil at the end and kills her own fucking father.
Yeah.
She is one of the most awful characters I can remember. And I think someone here was saying, when you started with In the Darkness, Bill, I thought you were going to say that one scene where she just gets slapped in the fucking face. Because I was just like, this is, yes! Like somebody, fucking, like somebody tackle this woman. Somebody do something. I'll leave it to you guys to take over with. You go on from there for a minute.
That's why it works so well. I remember watching it when at the height of the hype. And even though you did see the reveal of the girl, I remember watching this movie and being blown away how good it was, and it didn't matter. I think the opening scene with the two girls, the two college girls, and it builds such good tension that I had forgotten everything else about the movie, and I was well into the moment when I watched it, and it just got me. It sucked me in from right at that moment. I mean, the two. And we watched it in subtitles, but with this movie, you watch it and you don't need the subtitles. You know what's happening. You don't really need the dialogue that much, but the tension is there with the music, with the angles, and you know what's happening, and the jump scare with the phone. It was just so goddamn effective that the hype didn't matter in that 90 minutes when I was watching it.
Go ahead, John. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was about to say I was agreeing with Ringo over here.
Ringo.
That's what I said. I like the movie.
But the thing about it was, I actually at one point turned off the closed caption. I just sat back and watched it in the total Japanese format, and never felt lost in the storytelling.
Yes.
And that's what really surprised the hell out of me. I mean, I even knew where the jump scares were coming, if you want to call them jump scares, and I still found myself gasping a little bit when the mother walks in and sees the boy watching the tape.
Oh man! I
remember,
forgot about that.
Yeah, and when she and in my head I went, "Oh shit!" And I knew it was coming because I knew it was there. But it's as opposed to Paranormal Activity, where I'm like, "All right, the first time I saw this was okay, but I kind of knew where everything is coming from." This I knew where everything was coming from, and it was like, "Oh, hi, old friend, how are you?"
Yeah.
This goes back to the VHS days.
Mm-hmm.
Was there, refresh my memory, was there a fear of technology back then, like taking over in the 90s?
Oh yeah.
Was that a theme through society that anyone, like we're just becoming too technical, like little did we know.
Right.
27 years later, I mean, and what's become possible, a lot of it is good. But I mean, there's this. Was there a tech dread? I don't remember, John.
I kind of love the fact that there was a tech dread. Like if you look at the Terminator movies, that's one where people talk about where the machines are taking over. But I'll even go back so far to say in Videodrome. Way back in the 80s, they were sampling that. This was the first time I ever saw a thing where it was like telepathy and black magic, for lack of a better term, being used through a modern day medium. Like I found myself at the end of watching the film, I said, you couldn't do this today with, like, say, a DVD or a CD. But I sat there and I said, but you know what? You could do it with a podcast.
Yeah.
And just people tuning in on that type deal, because that's the modern day equivalent of it.
Yeah. It reminds me of Halloween 3.
Yeah.
Where, you wear the masks, you watch the show, and the mask fuses to your face. It was, I remember a movie that I saw one Halloween called Halloween. At a recording studio.
I vaguely remember that,
and the producer was like making records that if you played them, it conjured demons. You always get that kind of stuff, and this is just a really good sort of version of it. The fact that they're playing it on VHS at the height of Blockbuster's, reign of glory. I can see how that would be, a thing, a commentary on the technology.
Yeah,
I didn't think of it back in the day. I'm such a Luddite. I was lucky I had a VHS sitting around. I'm sitting there with my little telegraph machine trying to call people.
You probably had a top loading machine, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. I bet I did.
Absolutely, baby.
It's not as good as the Betamax.
I always wanted to try one of those Betamax. I always wanted to try a laser disc, but there was just never an opportunity to buy one. They only lasted for like 5 minutes. Supposedly, the quality was ridiculous.
I was hipping kids in my class to laser discs this week. We were talking about the difference between analog and digital technology and media. And I just bring up, just as an asides, like, oh, by the way, we used to have this thing called laser discs. And when I was your age, I used to go to the hardware store and watch Jaws on laser disc because that was the display movie. And I loved going and watching Jaws.
Right.
Yeah.
Dudes, I remember back in the day when we went to Stockton, when it was Stockton State and not a university, and working in N-Wing and having to do Laserdisc night.
Oh, no kidding.
And on that big screen where we used to be by the game room.
Yep.
I used to have to show the only one that actually two films actually worked. The original movie of MASH and Lawrence of Arabia. All the other ones didn't work. It kept skipping.
They come on 2 discs, right?
Yep.
It didn't all fit.
Yep.
All the zeros and ones didn't fit on the one disc.
That's right.
And
it was fun. They made great Frisbees.
I mean, it's all a precursor to the Matrix anyway, because, this exact same theme plays out in the Matrix, where you're actually watching a bunch of zeros and ones, but you can see, what's happening in them. That's interesting.
Exactly.
Hold on a second. We got a comment here. We got Slasher Fred in. What's happening, man?
Hey,
He said,
Fred.
I think what makes Ringu such a suspenseful movie is that it plays like a detective story. Yeah, there's no gore in this movie.
Almost
There's
none.
or very little.
Right.
But it's very, for a 90-minute movie, it plays very slowly with the dread. You know, this impending thing, you know, where like she's got 7 days, you know, and then she shows it to her ex-husband. And it was great to see Hiroyuki Sanada, you know, in these early roles from '98, you know, and what he's become now, where he's just like a global superstar. But he was good in this.
Right.
I like that it didn't have any of the typical, like they totally bypassed the divorce sort of trope, you know, with the bickering or the, you know, you did this. He just kind of steps right into the role, you know, and, you know, does what, you know, he feels he's supposed
very
to
Japanese, doing your duty kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah. You got the impression that there is a lot of feeling there. Like there's that one scene where he comes out and Yoichi, his son, like looks at him and just walks on past.
Right.
And nothing is said. Like nothing is said. The boy doesn't, you know, in America there would be some fuck you, you know, you're not my dad, or, you know, he'd try to do something and the kid would, you know, give him the finger or something like that. And there was none of that. It's just this one scene where they both look at each other and then his son just keeps on walking. And so you know that there's this deep reservoir of feeling there, but they show it. They don't, you know, they don't tell it to you.
Right.
You see it there in the one scene, and it's enough.
And one thing about the two characters, which I really kind of liked, and I forgot about it completely, is that they're both reporters.
Yes.
And that adds to the, you know, trying to find the story, you know, type deal, figuring out the case, as opposed to making, that was the thing. I really got into that because even if they had differences, they're like, we got to fit, you know, we got to take the story to the end.
Yeah. Would you classify this as a noir?
I would say spooky noir.
Yeah.
You know, I would give it that.
Supernatural noir kind of thing.
Yeah. Supernatural noir. Yeah.
Hold on a second. Let me look at something. I'm going to look, while you talk it up for a second, I'm going to look at a definition of noir. And then let's
there we go.
Pull that up. I'm betting that it fits somewhere, somehow. I think the fact that they're newspaper reporters kind of makes it feel that way. You know, it's not a detective, it's the same thing as you know, someone is duty bound to investigate a thing, no matter where it goes.
Hold on, let's see what we got here. All right,
because it could have easily turned into like a typical '80s, '90s American style, because it started off with the two college girls that were fooling around, and
I like that. It started with the teenage trope. All right, here's definition of noir, and this is from Grok, which is Elon's AI. French for black refers to a genre or style in film, literature, or other media characterized by dark, moody aesthetics, morally ambiguous characters, absolutely, and themes of cynicism, fatalism, and existential dread, Emerging prominently in the 1940s and 50s with American film noir, it features visual style, high contrast lighting, deep shadows, urban settings, and a monochromatic or desaturated palette. Certainly, I love the shots in these films, and I love the grainy look. I love that grainy fucking look that it had.
I watched this. There's a great 4K transfer on YouTube that I watched, and it's a world of difference between that and the grainy VHS beat up copy from Blockbuster that I watched, 25 years ago. It was beautiful.
I liked the fact that it was grainy on the video, and as they progressed along, the reality started becoming a little grainy. To that.
The Tubi copy is not a 4K restoration. It is a very grainy fucking copy, and I liked that. I like seeing that. You've got vengeful spirits and unresolved trauma. Very human things. You've got neglectful parents. The Reiko, the main character, she's a very neglectful fucking mother. She just leaves her little child like alone in the house for like
and
ever.
he's like, I got it, Mom.
Yeah, I felt terrible for that little boy. I'm like, holy shit! Like, she just leaves him there all night.
Yep.
He's like now latchkey kids were a thing when we grew up, and our parents were at work or whatever, and we came in and we made something to eat and tried not to spoil our dinner or whatever, and watched TV and did what we were supposed to do. But not that
professional mom, dude.
Not that young, man.
Yeah, I agree.
Not that young. I mean, holy shit. So, I mean, it starts out with this, these 4 college kids or high school kids that, have watched this video, and if you watch the video, it's like this folk story video, urban legend kind of thing. And if you watch it, you have a week to live.
Right.
And coincidentally, all 4 of them die. I love that introductory scene. And the shot that you have of the girl from the upside down position, like horror frozen, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. And so you've got a reporter who's investigating these things and stumbles into this cursed video of a murdered girl. A video of a murdered girl, her mother, possibly somebody who, killed them both, and it just spirals into this crazy story where she just, the main character, Reiko, just increasingly exposes people to this video. Like the first person she thinks to show it to is her ex-husband.
Right.
And I'm just like, Jesus Christ, this fucking woman, she's a menace. She really is. Go ahead.
That's definitely like the most irresponsible thing I've ever seen. Is if she believes it, if she doesn't believe in it, if she's cynical about it, drawing all these other people into this curse, this curse.
It's the equivalent of taking a drink and going, "Oh, here, taste this."
Yeah.
This tastes right to you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. My hands are freezing. Here, feel. You get the fuck off me. Jesus Christ.
This videotape looks like it's from hell. You tell me.
Yeah. I mean, she just like there's no, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not even accountability. It's like there's no self-realization,
self-conscious.
It's just
how she comes across it is just hilarious. She's just talking to the guy at the hotel. He's like, "Hey, what's that video you got there?"
Oh, somebody must have left it. Somebody must have left it.
There. Go back to your room by yourself and watch it.
For a second, I thought he had a whole rack of porn. I thought he had like a whole rack of fucking porn on the wall. I'm like, what the fuck kind of hotel is this? Jesus Christ.
And she took the tape, right? She did take the videotape from the motel.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I thought was that if she didn't take that tape, that guy was going to watch it. After she returned it, he would have been, "What's on this?"
If it wasn't for her, it probably would have sat there for like forever.
Right.
She kicks off this whole fucking thing, and self-awareness. That's the word I'm looking for. There's just like zero self-awareness with this chick until somebody I think she says, "This is all my fault." And I just wanted her husband to say, "Yes, it fucking is." Like, you've killed all of us, you stupid bitch. Jesus Christ.
Ding, 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 ding.
Throw yourself down the well, for fuck's sake.
How unfair is it that she's able to get the curse off of herself? I felt bad for the husband when he
Yeah, she enlists her ex-husband. They go on this investigation because now she believes she's going to die in 7 days. Then she shows it to him.
Right.
Okay. So now he's going to die. But what you don't realize, and I'm going to say this because it's been 27 years, and if you haven't watched it by now, that's your fault. The next person who watches it removes it from the person before. Or like if that person who's watched it can show it to another person, then they sort of pass the curse on, which is kind of the twist and the end.
Right.
But you're sort of, going day by day along this 7-day sort of timeline as they get closer to this mystery to who's in the video.
Right.
What did you think about the contents of the video itself?
It was pretty creepy. It could have been creepier, but it was weird.
Well, I love the fact that it was at that creepy level. Because then when they started figuring it out and putting it together, in my head I'm going, okay, that makes sense. If they made it too creepy, I felt like that's the one thing I like about this movie. It was scary, but it was never gory.
Right.
It was, and that's what I really, really liked about it. The nervousness and the hair rising on the back of your neck really came naturally about it. I'm glad it was kind of in that fashion because it did. It looked like initially when I first saw it, I'm like, this looks like some art house video that a college kid made. And then when all of a sudden it got deeper and deeper into it, you're like, oh my God.
On the dark web.
Yeah, something you would see, but the devil doesn't pop up in the video or anything. It's just this weird thing that you're watching. You're like, what the fuck is this?
Great scene when they're going frame by frame on the VHS, and you get the line across the screen, and they're trying to figure it out. That was a great scene. Very, very, very intense.
This was apparently a 9-month production, and it said unusually long for Japanese horror at the time, with the director prioritizing atmospheric tension over speed. To capture, the slow burn. Yeah,
right.
They did a really good job. It said it was shot simultaneously with the loosely connected sequel Spiral. At the same time, showing much of the cast, but not Nakata or the writer. The studio released both on the same day. Capitalize on the novel's hype, nearly bankrupting the production company in the process.
You know what it reminded me a little of is there's a quote about filmmaking that Alfred Hitchcock talked about, saying, you don't blow up a room. You have the person put the bomb somewhere in the room so the audience knows it. And then people go on like their daily lives.
Right.
To me, the tension of knowing you had 7 days was the equivalent of the bomb being in the room.
Right.
So the tension just starts building up just each time they added the thing over the film when they showed the date, day 4. You felt yourself getting nervous about it.
I think that, one of the things about this is that there's very little, I hate to use the term, but there's very little paranormal activity.
Right.
It is a mystery. Like they're trying to solve this mystery. What's on this video? Where does it come from? Why is this happening? And it's only almost towards the end of the film where you start to see, because like when the kids in the beginning die, you don't see what happens.
Yeah.
They don't show it to you. It isn't until almost like there's less than 10 minutes in the movie when it finally gets to Hiroshi Sanada's character, you're like, oh, so this is what happens.
Well, it's interesting that they use that trope of we have vision power to do all the exposition.
Right.
You just got to touch something and go into a trance, and now we can see the
what
background
happened
of the thing.
Yeah.
It said that for her coming out of the television set and all the things you saw in the video, those are practical effects. The actress Ringu walked backward down a set with the footage reversed in post-production, creating her unnaturally jerky movements with no CGI.
Nicely done.
I'm curious as to what the budget for this must have been. It probably wasn't much.
No.
Hold on a second.
Toho Films, probably $17 and a tray of ramen.
Yeah. Well, hold on. Because, what did we say? What was it? $15,000 for Paranormal Activity?
Right.
1.2 million.
What,
how
98? That's nothing.
Yeah. 1.2 million in 98. Equivalent to about 100 million yen. The modest sum was typical for mid-90s Japanese cinema, especially for a genre film. adapting Koji Suzuki's novel. Despite the low budget, the film's innovative practical effects, atmospheric cinematography, and psychological tension propelled it to massive success, grossing around $19.4 million worldwide.
There you
a
go.
return of over 16 times its cost. It was produced by Omega Project, TBS, and distributed by Toho, with the funds stretched over a 9-month shoot that included back-to-back filming with its sequel. Okay, so for context, this contrasts sharply with the 2002 American remake, The Ring, which had a $48 million budget,
right,
and earned over $249 million globally.
That was popular.
Yeah. And I missed them both. Both.
And if you had heard about or had seen the original, to see the American version, you would probably be curious to see, all right, what happened, type deal. So that added to it as well. And the American version was really close. It wasn't as exaggerated as I thought it would be.
Is that what it was about? About like a reporter stumbling into this video with a little boy and her ex-husband? Really? Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Who was it? Sarah Michelle Gellar? Was that a Sarah Michelle Gellar?
No, she was in the remake of The Grudge.
The Grudge. Okay.
I'm trying to remember.
Oh, Naomi Watts, wasn't it?
Yeah, Naomi Watts and
Let's
her husband.
Engage IMDb instead of trying to remember a bunch of old men trying to remember names from 25 years.
Hey, speak for yourself, buddy. I just turned 30.
Who's the guy who's oh God, what is his name? Because I liked him as an actor. The guy who plays her ex-husband is actually her real Naomi Watts' real husband.
Yeah, Naomi Watts.
He was he played. If you ever saw the first Wolverine movie, a Solo, he played Liev Schreiber. Yeah.
Oh, I like Liev Schreiber. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Liev Schreiber did it. It was the two of them, and which to me goes,
No, it says somebody named Martin Henderson.
Really, I thought it was Liev Schreiber. Damn.
Oh, Martin Henderson. Brian. Cox.
Sorry, Liv. Who?
I like Brian Cox.
There you go.
Brian Cox was in it. He plays the reclusive horse breeder and father of the ghostly antagonist, harboring dark secrets.
He's not a fisherman. He's a horse breeder. They did change something.
Yeah.
I mean,
fishermen aren't popular in America. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
It said this draws directly from two famous Japanese ghosts.
Wow.
Iwa, who has a misshapen eye, and Okiku from Bancho Sarayakishi, a woman murdered and thrown down a well whose spirit seeks vengeance, mirroring the film's well motif.
That makes sense with the photos, all the photos before people die. Their eye gets all.
They said a persistent urban legend claims a gorier alternate version with more distorted victims' faces appeared in the 1999 Brussels International Festival of Fantasy Film. The director has repeatedly denied its existence, but fans swear they've seen bootlegs.
It's more Mandela effect.
Could be. Yeah.
It's like the Fruit of the Loom cornucopia.
That's right.
The cursed tape surreal abstract visuals were created using practical effects like manipulated film stock and stop motion, reflecting 1990s anxieties about analog media. No digital effects were used, keeping the horror grounded in tangible unease.
This is it fits right in with the time with something like the Blair Witch.
Yeah. I feel bad. I think in the 90s, this probably would have freaked me out a lot more. Now to watch it, it's not even the horror of it. It's just the story that gets me.
Yeah.
It's a good story.
Yes.
It's a good story. It has a very fucked up ending, where it just kind of ends and you're like, holy, like it really did remind me of the end of Midsommar, where I'm like, is this really going to end this way? And sure enough, it fucking did. But it's worthwhile to watch. I feel, I probably have heard, I don't know if I'm late to the game, but yeah. Because I've seen it before, but I don't know. It's a good.
I was actually glad I got to see both versions, the American and the Japanese version, at home, not in a big screen type deal. For some reason, I felt like I was able to get into it more watching it this way.
Yeah. That's how most people watch those kinds of movies now. No one goes to the theater to see a dialogue-driven mystery movie. They'll sit at the comfort of their own home. They just go for the big spectacle. I'll go and watch the atomic bomb blow up, but I won't go watch genre movies in the theater.
And it's funny because I think that's what added to, you just said, a dialogue-driven movie, which this really was. So when the big reveal came at the end with the ex-husband, I think that really shocked a lot of people more for a bigger shock value because they weren't expecting it, and it was well done the way they did it. You know.
Hold on. Okay. Yeah, say that again, John. I'm sorry, I missed.
Oh no, I meant with Ringo turned around and said it was a dialogue-driven movie. That people don't see that, and I sat there and I said, and you're right. With this movie, it is a dialogue-driven movie, and I think the reveal at the end with what happened to her ex-husband, you know, I think that's where it shocks you even more, because when they did see what happened and how the spirit enters into the reality, it wasn't over the top and everything else, but when it happened, you were like, I found myself saying it again now, like I did back in 2002 with the American version. I found myself going, oh shit, you know, because it really, and I knew it was coming this time.
And it's so fucked up because it's undeserved.
Yeah.
It's undeserved. Like the ghosts, usually in most ghost stories, maybe they'll take a couple of victims, but in the end, the way most ghost stories end is that the ghost will take the right people.
Right.
You know,
right. Her rage is just going to anyone who gets in the way.
Yeah, it's just blind.
So, you know, there isn't a, you know, morally ambiguous. Kids just lash out.
Lashing out. Yeah, she's just lashing out at everybody. Everybody can get some. You know, everybody can catch those hands.
Yeah. That's such a creepy scene, though, man, when she pulls the hair off of that skeleton and just hugs it like she's doing a therapy session with her. That was so creepy, and it lasted so goddamn long.
Yeah, and like the slime is coming out of the eye sockets.
Tears, yeah.
Yeah.
But it was good, you know?
Yeah. Here's a question. Could this movie be popular today if it were released today? I would say no.
It wouldn't be half as popular.
No.
Just because of the technology and the way that we consume media now.
I think we could find a spot like on a Midnight Madness type circuit.
In small circles, for people like us who would recognize it for what it actually is, sure.
It'd be something to come out on Blumhouse or something, or maybe A24, and you'd find an audience.
I saw something the other day, and I forget that it's this little bitchy lady who has a YouTube channel, and she like snips and snaps at people, and a lot of time it's deserved. Like she's always on this or that or whatever. I won't even get into it, but she had this one clip, and it was about, I think, Julia Roberts, and Julia Roberts has released a new movie, and it's tanked. Like it's just tanked.
Right.
Like, Julia Roberts movies never tank. You know, she has her loyal audience, and they go, and this time it's just fucking tanked. And I've been saying I saw the new Kogonada movie, and that tanked. And then I saw The Rock and the Smashing Machine, and that tanked, and that was fucking fantastic. And the Daniel Day-Lewis movie lasted 1 week in the theaters before it dropped down to one showing a day at 12:15 in the afternoon. And then after the second week, that was gone. And I think I just seen the movie like 19 days ago or something like that. And it's already come to the Daniel Day-Lewis movie. It's already gone to digital.
Yeah.
It's already gone to digital. And what they were saying, because they were just talking about Julia Roberts, that part there I added on my own, is that after COVID, somehow during the lockdowns, fucking influencers took over. And now people are only watching fucking influencers. You know, that they're watching their YouTube channels, and they're watching, you know, this person on stream on this, and, you know, their TikToker on that. And people just aren't following film anymore. Unless, like Bill was saying, you know, you're making your popcorn blockbuster.
Right. Exactly.
And I say that all of that because I don't think if you released this film today, people would watch it. It would be like, what is this? You know, like where's the gore? Where's the, you know, there's no there.
Well, there definitely there's too many options, and there's no building word of mouth anymore.
Right.
Before anyone could say anything to their friends about how good the movie is, it's already freaking gone.
Mm-hmm.
And not to mention the fact that usually through the internet, everything is dropped 6 months before it's even out.
Yeah.
Right. And you'll have some places that will, for lack of a better term, trash the movie no matter what.
Mm.
Yeah. And I hate to say that, but I used to write for Rotten Tomatoes many, many moons ago. And they got mad at me because I was actually writing reviews that were positive about movies. And I was like, oh, okay. And I kind of just stopped. Well, they kind of stopped me, you know, but they were looking to be that edgy type setup. And it's a shame because, you know, they don't give a chance for a movie to breathe. Breathe.
Well, this is the height of the indie film when it was very popular and everyone wanted to see indie films, you know, and this is, you know, that close to an indie film. $1 million budget is not a blockbuster by any stretch of the imagination.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm going off the topic. Sorry. I'll stop on that one.
Hold on. I saw this on X the other day, and I reposted it on mine. And I just saw, you guys know, I just saw the original Tron.
Right.
The other day for the first time, and I enjoyed it. It was weird.
Yeah.
No, it's this weird movie. But it was good, and like Disney really went on. I haven't used Disney Plus in like 6 months. But I have it as part of the Disney bundle, and they went all out with they had it in like 8K or something like that. So, and I was like, the effects really aren't that bad. I'm like, okay. No. And so I'm going to try maybe tonight. I'm going to see Tron Legacy, and then I'm going to see Tron Ares this weekend because it just looks like a killer effects movie, and I like Jared Leto.
Right.
But somebody posted this on X, and it reflects what we were talking about. And it just says, Jared Leto is not box office poison. It said herd mentality and bandwagon hate is box office poison. Right. And some guy here says, the instant I heard they were going to make him the main character of the third film, I knew I wasn't going to go to the theater to see it. Like, what the fuck? Like, and the guy's like, you're missing out. You're missing out. But, you know, these people, like...
You do have to be able to say that, but at the same time, I can agree that, you know, I saw Pedro Pascal's going to be in Fantastic Four, and I went, all right, I don't give a shit. Because I'm sick. It's not that he's bad. I'm just sick of seeing him in every goddamn movie.
The issue with that, and I understand it, is that you still missed out on a good movie.
I probably am, but it's just not rushing to see it. It'll be there for me if I ever get the urge to watch a Pedro Pascal.
But this is why a lot of these movies are tanking. People have made their mind up before they even bother to go see it, and then the movies fucking tank. They're not. So I say that I don't find fault with the movie company. I don't find fault with the movie company. The modern viewing audience is just fucking insufferable these days, in my mind. They're just fucking insufferable.
Well, you're not giving the kids what they want. They're trying to do what they did 40 years ago, and it's just not working because it's not 40 years ago anymore. They want to keep operating on the same paradigm that filled theaters on a Saturday night before we had these computers in our pockets.
And actually, you can even blame the studio over the fact that they helped to set this up. Like when the pandemic stopped, they could have really made a big push for people to go into the movie theaters. But if you look at it, a movie went in the movie theater, and 2 weeks later, they'd have it on streaming. You know, they were cashing in on it as well.
Yeah, there is that. It used to be you saw a movie and it went away, and then you saw it on TV 2 years later. Now it's like you see movies out in the theaters, and I can see it anywhere.
Right,
it's everywhere.
And that's a shame because the theater experience is gone.
Yeah,
it's a shame because I still regularly make it out to the theater. Last year, I saw upwards of 36 films. Had a great time, I'd say, and 9 out of 10 of them This year I'm on track probably for 30 or more. Had a great time, 9 out of 10 of them. And it's a shame. It's a shame. I go to the theaters and I see these movies. Not everyone is Lawrence of Arabia. Don't misunderstand me. But they're good films, and the theaters are just fucking empty.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's just fucking empty. It's a shame.
It's too expensive, and it just sucks.
I don't agree with the sucks, and I pay $20 a month. A month.
Yeah.
I pay $20 a month.
I always still get a thrill when I sit in the movie theater and the lights go down in the preview.
There's no substitute for it. There's no substitute for it.
If it's a good movie. If I go to the movie theater and a movie is terrible, it's a waste of my time, and I get so angry.
Didn't we? I mean, for decades, didn't we endure movies that were? I mean, the 80s and 90s, the 70s, 80s, and 90s are now replete with films that we praise that were not apocalyptic now.
Right.
You know, so and like I said, I pay $20 a month. I pay $20 a month. I go, I don't go. I'm going to see Tron Ares. It cost me 53 cents.
There you go.
You know, it's just. I think people have become so rigid and cemented that, people don't realize. I think in their stubbornness, they don't realize that they're like tanking the film industry in their own country.
Right.
And I just, it's a shame. It's a shame. And I think, I don't know if it will recover. Maybe films will go away, and I don't know. I think people will realize it after the fact, because there isn't anything of equal value in substitution for it.
Right.
And
I like being generally, to go to the opposite of what Ringo said. I mean, sometimes I'll walk into a movie theater not knowing what it is, and I'll see something and I'm like, I'm so glad I caught this.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the chance you take when you go and see a movie. Like Mike and I have talked about this before, the movie Changeling with George C. Scott. I saw that movie quite accidentally because the movie I wanted to go to was sold out. And I said, when we all went, let's see what this is like. And I'm happy that I saw that movie, and it still affects me, and I talk about it to this day. And I can't remember what movie I went to see that sold out, to be honest. That's part of the movie-going experience. Sometimes you'll stumble into something.
And we don't have this. Let's be fair. We don't have the same amount of free time that we had when we were 14.
True. Exactly.
And this, that, and the other. But it's still the film industry in our country. I think it's important to look at the big picture. That's all. I'm saying.
Yeah, I just think I think theater companies in general are trying to be too big with it. We have 17 screens and we got IMAX. I'd rather go sit in my local art theater that has 4 rows of seats and can only fit 50 people or whatever. 40
exactly.
People. Yeah, that's fine.
Those are the better movies, and that's the better theater experience than the big leather reclining chair and the 100 speakers stacked up behind the screen.
Well, I mean, the past 3, maybe 4 films I've seen have not. The Smashing Machine was not a blockbuster. Right. It's a shame because it could be an Oscar film, and I couldn't believe The Rock did that.
Yeah.
And nobody went to see it. The Kogonada film. There's like 3 people in there. Maybe I might have been the only person in there, actually. That's happened to me a few times where I've gone to like the Daniel Day-Lewis movie. I was the only person in the theater. I was the only person.
Right. And that's a shame because I actually wanted to see that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm sure it'll come to some streaming service, but in the interim, the box office has suffered. That's just where we're at right now.
Yeah.
All right. Is there anything about this film that we have not discussed that you guys would like to address?
Not really.
Yeah.
No, not really. I think we covered
it. You got to see this movie. You got to get kids and say, turn off the lights and watch this flick.
Yeah, it's definitely a turn the lights off kind of movie. It's just about 90 minutes, a little over 90 minutes. It's not slow. It doesn't drag. You've got a mystery to solve, which we did not get into, and I'm glad because of that part.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely worth seeing. It's one of the all-time horror classics, at least in the modern sense. Go watch it on Tubi for Halloween. You got 8 more days until Halloween. Yeah, enjoy yourself and go see a good movie.
Can I give one statement real quick?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. How they got the actor who played the son, how he kept those socks up throughout the whole movie. Those white socks. I think that might be the only CGI thing they did. That's about it. That's all. Because it always amazed me when I'm watching this. I'm like, this kid is impeccable.
He's a good kid.
He's a good kid.
He's a good kid, the little bastard.
Yeah. And give him credit. He actually did a very good job with the part that he played.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, we usually talk about children actors not doing well or doing. He did great.
Yeah, he did a good job. All right, let's get to the part in the stream where we rate the film. This channel has a rating system that goes from 0 to 5 up by halves. So 0, 0.5, 1, 1.5, all the way to 5. So 0, for example, would be I'd rather never have access to toilet paper again rather than watch this movie all the way to 5, which is this is the journey, this is the destination, this is why I watch films in the first place. The one Ringu and In the Darkness Bind Them. What would you give Hideo Takada's Ringu?
Well, it's got a great story. It's well filmed. It pulls you in. It creates the tension. It hits all the marks. I'm going to give it a 4.5. I can't go all the way to 5, but I can go 4.5. It's a fantastic movie.
Well, we've definitely stepped up from Paranormal Activity, and there's no mistake. John K. Alvarez, Dean of the Ghoul University. What would you give this film?
I'm gonna agree with Ringo. I'm giving it a 4.5 because I thoroughly enjoyed it. There was 1 or 2 parts that kind of like I for lack of a better term, it just didn't please me, and that's the reason why I'm not giving it the perfect score. But it's all things considered, it does exactly what you want. It gives you a good story and a hell of a scare. You know?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I am going to go with a 4.
Okay.
I think it is a solid piece of entertainment. It has good atmospherics. I suppose the Lady Reiko, the main character, does what she's supposed to be doing by making you hate her. Because I certainly do by the end of that movie. And I thought it's got a fantastic twist at the end like the twist at the end comes out of nowhere within like the last 2 minutes.
Right.
We should have mentioned that, with the dad. Dad,
right.
I need a favor. And you're like, no, she's not. And sure as shit, that's what she ends up doing. And I think what makes her a great villain is that she refuses to watch the video herself. She plays somebody else in the line of fire. And she could have just as easily saved her son by sacrificing herself. Instead, she chooses to sacrifice someone else. And that's what makes her a complete and total villain.
Exactly.
But I'll give it a 4. I don't think it, if I get 4, for me, 4.5 starts to move into the cinema kind of area. And I don't think it quite did that. But it's an effective horror film. And yeah, if you were to you would have to have a real great horror director, like an Oz Perkins or an Eggers or something to, put something of quality out like that today.
Exactly.
So yeah, I'll go with the 4. All right, the one Ringu, plug something.
I have nothing to plug, sorry to say. Don't know when my band Soup Sandwich is going to perform again. I'll let you know when I know.
All right. Hold on a second. We got one last comment here from Slasher Fred. It's amazing how this film came out the time when DVD had started to become popular, because for a while during the 80s and early 90s, VHS had once been popular. Yes, I never want to watch another VHS movie again after seeing this. No thanks. And never let your ex invite you over to watch a VHS tape.
Boy.
So,
exactly.
All right, John K. Alvarez, you got anything you want to plug?
Yeah, I sent you a thing, Mike. I don't know if we can pop it on the screen.
I
An
didn't
email.
get it. I didn't get it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I
You
think I
didn't
may. I think I may have sent it to the American Werewolf site. Sorry about that.
Oh yeah. Hold on. I see it now. Hold on. You didn't tell me you sent it, so I didn't know to look.
Oh, I'm sorry, dude.
That's okay. Hold on.
But the reason why I got myself as the dean of the Ghoul University was that last weekend and this weekend, the place where I work, the Living History Village, historic Cold Spring Village, we call it Ghoul Spring Village. We turned the whole village into this Halloween effect. And for the first year, the schoolhouse was open. And the first night, because no one knew what I was going to be able to do, I was walking around holding a book, and in it I had my iPhone, and I was reading Edgar Allan Poe to people, dressed as a zombie, in green light, and people were digging it and everything else. Well, last weekend, I had a family reunion. And my brother, who I hadn't seen in 20 years, kept me hanging at this one party, and I was talking with him, and I was a little late. So when I was opening up the school, I had to find a guy who had the key. And as I'm walking through the village, none of the kids were scary. They were dressed scary, but they're all going, like whatever the character is from Scream, they're all going, I'm scary. No, you're not. So when I went into the school, and a bunch of these kids were asking me what I'm going to do, I turned around and said, we're all going to ghoul school. Sit down. And I taught them how to scream, how to boo, and how to cackle.
Nice.
And the thing was, as the night went on, it got more and more crowded. Saturday night, from 5:30 to 8:30, we had 979 people come through.
Nice, John Carpenter.
And it was great, man. But so someone turned around and called me, the professor at Ghoul University. I said, I'll take it for one more week. So if you're busy or you're not too busy, come on down. We're doing it for one more weekend.
And that's at 735 Seashore Road in Cape May, New Jersey.
You got it, baby.
All right, so that's Friday, October 24th, and Saturday the 25th from 5:30 p.m. to 9 p.m.
And it's family friendly
at 8:30 p.m. All right.
And it's very family friendly. Like younger kids can come in and things like that. We scare them, but we don't try to get them too upset.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's a worthwhile endeavor. All right, good for you, man.
Yeah.
For this channel, next week is the week of Halloween, and I was talking before we went on as to whether or not it would be worthwhile to continue in this direction that we've been going. And Bill was like, well, it probably would be. I was looking at doing Ju-on.
There you go.
Finish up the Japanese horror and Halloween before we start to get back, before we kick off the whole director's theme that we were talking about last week. So, okay, we'll talk about it and potentially look at doing Ju-on, probably back to a regular Wednesday. I think we did this on a Thursday for Eric, and then Eric ended up bailing on us. So there you go.
Thank you, Eric.
Yes, but we'll be back to regular Wednesday next week and looking at Ju-on. Okay. My thanks to the one Ringu, and my thanks to John K. Alvarez. Go see this movie. It is on Tubi. I say it again, and we will see you all in the next video.